Former Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman Kendrick and now Houston Texan says that he's happy that he left the Pittsburgh Steelers and got traded to the Texans. So, Kendrick went in an interview done this week talking about the Steelers matchup just tomorrow because he will be playing his former team for the first time since the trade. He was asked many questions about the Steelers. Some of them he had really good things to say about the Steelers, but then others, like this one, he says that he's happy he's gone and that he got traded from the team. So obviously, I'm going to be playing both sides here, talking about it from a Pittsburgh Steelers perspective and then talking about it from a Kendrick perspective. But first, let me tell you the quote from his interview. Here's his direct quote. "I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I'm not there anymore. Glad to be here. On top of that, I'm just looking at it as just another game. Going out there to play my best, just good that I'll see some familiar faces on the other side. Got put in a pretty tough spot when I was there, and just think it's fortunate that the way it worked out." So, that's quite the statement out of the third-year offensive guard that the Pittsburgh Steelers took in the third round of the 2021 NFL Draft. And they played him at center because they thought that he would be able to play that position because he did a little bit of that in college. But since they drafted him in 2021 and started him right away, he just has not panned out for the Steelers, and that's why they ended up trading him to the Houston Texans for a 6th-round draft pick this offseason. More than likely, he would have been cut from the team if he did not get traded, but him stating that he's glad that he's out of Pittsburgh because he got put in a tough situation. How much of a tougher situation, or better situation, do you want? You started right out the gate. You started straight out of college, played center in the NFL, and even after that, after you played so poorly, the Steelers kept you around for 2 more years just to try to learn the guard and be better at center. You were given multiple opportunities to play, even opportunity to play fullback to see if you would work there. Also, they gave him more opportunities to kind of work in at guard, but the center, they got him a starting position right away, and that's more than anything you could ask for, being a starter in this league, and he got that straight out the gate in year 1. From a Steelers side of things, he just didn't work out as an offensive lineman on the team. He had a rating of a 52.4 PFF score and ended up on his back or on the ground mostly every single play because whenever he went against someone else, he'd always get pushed to the side and beat. He would get so many holding calls, false start calls, bad snaps. Even in this preseason, when he's fighting for his job in this league, whether or not he's going to get cut from the team or not, he had those 2 awful snaps to Mason Rudolph where it ended up leading to fumbles and the opposite team recovering the ball. So even with him fighting for his job in his career in this league as an offensive lineman, he even continued to play poorly in the preseason, not even just the regular season, the preseason against second stringers and third stringers. So Kendrick the Steelers traded him away because he was awful at center. But now looking at it from a Kendrick perspective, his comments, obviously he is very fortunate the way it worked out, that he was traded to the Texans, a team that wanted him, because you always want to be with a team that wants you and sees value in it and value in you. So obviously he saw the value of himself being at Pittsburgh diminishing from the fans and also just the team aspect, being on the team and the coaches wanted him there. Obviously he's seen that diminishing and that he was able to go to the Texans where they actually value him a little bit more, and maybe he was actually going to make the team because he wasn't going to do it on Pittsburgh anymore after being there for 3 years. He's now going to make the team on Texans, and now he's a starter versus the Steelers week 4 football. Who would have thought that he would ever be a starter again in this league? And now he looks like he's going to make his first start of the season for the Texans against the Steelers. So that's a really good sign for him, and he is fortunate because many players after that poor showing in 3 years might have even been just on the practice squad still and had to fight their way back up to the main roster. But he was given another opportunity by the Texans, and I can see why he says it's very fortunate. And also I can see why he's saying it's a tough situation when he was in Pittsburgh. because I mentioned him playing center, but that wasn't his main position. In college, high school, whatever he played at, his main position was always guard. Yes, he played center here and there, a few snaps here, maybe a game here and there, but his main position was guard, and he was never really given the full opportunity to play guard in this league. I don't know how big of a difference it would have made because he still was not really good at blocking and pass protecting and stuff like that. Maybe it's a little bit different from playing the center and guard position because you don't have to worry about snapping the ball. But he was never really given the opportunity to play the guard position. He was always forced to play center because Marquise Pouncey left and they needed some athletic person who could kind of pull and kind of be quick on his feet to play the center position. And that's what he was supposed to be coming out of college. He was supposed to be someone who was light on his feet, good at moving, being able to pull, but he just didn't work out there. And he was bad at snapping the ball. So you can see why he was put in a tough situation because he was never given the opportunity to play guard. Even after that first year, when he played center and he did poorly there, he even commented that his main position is guard and that he would rather play guard than center. But then, even in all the way to year 3, this preseason, when he was playing center, it got me wondering why they just have not tried it out at guard yet. I know they have so many guards on the team who could play, like Nate Herbig and some other people at that position, so they don't really have spots for him there to play guard, but they had a spot for him to play backup center. So I could see why the Steelers wanted to play him at center, but then I could also see the reason why Kendrick Green thought it was a tough situation, playing center and not playing his main position in guard. But that's what Kendrick Green had to say about being on the Steelers for the past 3 seasons, saying that he's glad he left and glad that he got traded and that the team put him in a tough situation, and that he's very fortunate that it worked out with the Texans and he got traded there. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on that situation. How do you feel about his comments saying that he's fortunate that he's gone from the team? Let me know your thoughts. And now let's move on to a better story, a little bit of a better story with the punter position, because Steelers, they signed Brad Wing to the practice squad earlier this week, and also he got just risen up to the main roster today to play in the game against the Texans this Sunday because Presley Harvin III is out with a hamstring injury. And this is a really good story. That's what I'm saying, it's a better story, because for a while there, it seemed like Brad Wing would never play professional football in the NFL again. Out of the NFL after his 2017 season with the New York Giants, his punting career appeared to be over. But then he had a brief stint with the AAF's Memphis Express in 2019, and then he didn't play again professionally from 2018 to 2022. So it looked like his career was going to be over in the NFL or just over in general. But the Steelers, past and present, gave him a second chance. The XFL's San Antonio Brahmas, coached by Hines Ward, obviously someone who used to be with the Steelers, signed him for the 2023 season, and he excelled there. He excelled and averaged more than 47 yards per punt, and that put him back on the radar to being an NFL caliber punter again. And obviously the Steelers have connections to Hines Ward, so him playing for his team, I guess the Steelers are keeping an eye on the XFL. Mike Tomlin keeping an eye on Hines Ward's coaching ability at San Antonio Brahmas, so he saw punter Brad Wing being able to punt the ball, and maybe Hines Ward put in a good word with Mike Tomlin about Brad Wing. And obviously Brad Wing was a former Pittsburgh Steeler as well for a few years there. I'm pretty sure like 2016 or something like that. So the Steelers are used to him. And now with Presley Harvin being injured, he was signed to the practice squad and now will get a chance to play in the NFL for the first time in 6 years. So it has to be a very exciting thing for him to be back and back with the Steelers and back to an NFL caliber team after 6 years gone from the NFL. It's going to be a tough situation for him because obviously that first punt in the NFL, he might have some nerves, but after that, he's been a veteran in this league. You should expect nothing less from him. Let's see how his leg does after all these years gone. But Presley Harvin III, he was doing a good job punting the ball these past few games, punching it really deep in the territory of the other team, placing it in good spots. But now let's see if Brad Wing to take that over for a few weeks here that Harvin is out. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about the situation. How do you feel about as though Brad Wing returned to the Pittsburgh Steelers? How do you think he'll do? Do you think he'll do good, just as good as Harvin, or worse? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like Steelers content analysis reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for the channel as well, so you get notified whenever I post that Steelers video on this channel, and you can get notification right away to be able to keep up to date with everything Steelers news, rumors, analysis reports, as I cover all. I make new videos every single day, so stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.